Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm very happy to have you here. We are going to dive right in and get you some messages here today. See what messages we have for Pisces. Please, Spirit, can you please show us what messages you have for Pisces? What does Pisces need to know right now? What does Pisces need to know right now? Wow, I mean, this feels like very strong energy, Pisces. You're getting priorities. You understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations. Purpose. You possess the determination and dedication to consciously demonstrate love. And then you have empathy. You feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. You know, the vibe this gave me immediately was that you may be heading into a very busy time or a very demanding time in your career or in your life, or you may just feel pulled in many directions. And this is just giving me this vibe of, you know, sorry, I get on one track and then it's like something else hits me, and they're all very strong tracks, so I don't know. But it's giving me that, like, if you and your person are very busy, but you are choosing each other and you're choosing to be together, or you're committed to making it work, it'll work. I mean, this is giving me, it's like, don't let the circumstances of your life intimidate you or like make it feel like you don't have space or time or energy or something for love. Because this is like, it's saying to me, you know, with this priorities and this purpose, we have many purposes, really. You know, and they kind of evolve and change and take shape and take form. Some surprise us and some were there all along in our life. And sometimes it doesn't feel like you're ready for something, or it doesn't feel like you have space for something, but it's showing up in that moment for a reason. The opportunity is there for a reason. And it like, you're only seeing it from, as Carolyn Mace says, the first floor. You know, you're in it, you're living it, you're experiencing it, you're only seeing it. You don't know what's going to happen a year from now. You know, my husband will say to our son sometimes, you know, as important as your job is and as important as your company is and all these things, you have to remember that you're the one that has to take care of you. You're the one that has to prioritize yourself. And part of prioritizing ourselves is our loving relationships. You know, it is our connection. It is what can sometimes ground, center, balance us in times of great stress and duress. You know, we have to put that oxygen mask on ourselves first. We have to make sure that we're getting what we need in life, you know, all the way through. And so it may even be that, like, at one point you were not really interested in love, or not really looking for anything, or not trying to open up, and you may have made your career your number one priority, or work, or I don't know why this is coming through, but like working on a house, or there's something here, like maybe even like renting something, or I don't know what this is. But anyway, I like specifically, I'm seeing like a kitchen and linoleum floors and like a refrigerator. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, the thing is that it's just an energy of, you know, sometimes we get into a pattern, and that pattern suits our purpose at the time that we're developing it, or that we're creating this life for ourselves. But then sometimes things change, and maybe you were in a place where you were healing, or where you just needed to put some time and some distance between you and a rough experience, or you and a heartbreak, or whatever. And so it was time for you to focus on work. And maybe that was even part of the plan. Maybe that was part of the master plan. And maybe it feels like, ever since then, you've just sort of hit the ground running, and you've been going, and you just haven't had time to really turn your focus to this, or to really even allow anyone in. And I feel like, there's just this energy of like knocking on the door, someone's knocking on your door, someone's coming. And it may feel like it would be easier to say, I don't want any, I don't have time, no solicitation, whatever. But at the same time, there is this, it's coming here for a reason. And what I keep getting is you deserve someone who understands you, and is like seeing what you're going through, and is understanding, and is empathetic, and is compassionate. So I don't know. Let's go some more. Yeah, so I think, you may have set up your life to isolate, and that may have been intentional, and it may have been the right move. Like, that really may have been what was in your highest and best at the time. But it may have been just to navigate a short distance of your journey. It may not have been for the duration. You know what I mean? It feels like there is a moment here of reevaluation. We are in a very, very, very important portal. Like, astrologically, 8/8 is like the most important, date on the calendar. And that's the Lionsgate portal, right? And I don't like to talk about these things too much because I'm not an astrologer. But it is like the highest and best energy for manifestation. And there are a variety of reasons for that, and you're welcome to look into it. And in fact, I encourage you to look into it, because anything that we can utilize, any tool that the universe offers us that helps us kind of bend things to our will, or advanced timelines, or however you want to call it, whatever you want to say about it, however you view it, just letting them go by without observing them, without making any attempt to harness the power of it, is fine. We are always entitled to make that choice, and sometimes maybe that's the best choice, especially if you don't know what you want, or if you don't know what you're aligning with, or trying to align with, or I hate using the word trying, but you know what I'm saying. So, but anyway, if you are interested in really aligning with the energy that you have a clear picture of in your mind, that you're visualizing and manifesting, then by all means look into Lionsgate and look into what's going on, because the portal's opening. So it's just here for a short time. Anyway, I do feel there is this energy of, protecting ourselves here. Yeah. So, but it feels like this time is over, or it's coming to an end, or, it's just like anything in life. It's a cycle, and that cycle is closing, and it was an important cycle. And it may even be one that is hard to really release or let go of, because it was so cathartic, and it was so maybe even peaceful, because when we do isolate, we are protecting ourselves from the influence of outside sources, which can be harsh, right? And sometimes we need to like build a cocoon and go in there and integrate the lessons that we've learned, and process and work through and heal, and just be ourselves, us with us, and reestablish that connection, and just spend some time without the pressure, you know? And that's okay, right? I feel like this was necessary. I feel there's this caution and this anxiety. And, it feels like whatever caused you to go into a bit of an isolationist mode, it was that maybe your trust had been shaken, or maybe, your heart had been broken, or, you may have been backstabbed or deceived, or the world just may not be a friendly place to what is in your heart. It may just not resonate. And sometimes that can be enough to really push us to not want to be out in the public, or not want to be exposed to some things. And certainly this is definitely one of those times for a lot of people. But it's like I need to retreat in order to find comfort, in order to feel safe. And we all deserve emotional safety. And if that is what is required, is to be by ourselves, then by all means, I'm a huge fan of it. I think that there are a lot of people that struggle and can't be by themselves. And that is a huge indicator of, a lot. When we can be by ourselves, and when we can be peaceful and happy and content by ourselves, that is a very strong sign of self-love and of, wholeness on our own without needing someone else. And oftentimes that is the exact energy that draws someone to us, okay? I do feel like the space you have taken has been important and it has worked. For some of you, this could also be your person. This may be just them, it may be just you, or it could be both of you kind of mirroring each other. And this can also be, a cycle that's ending, and maybe you have someone new coming in. But it's like, regardless, it's like it may feel a bit inconvenient, or a bit like, you don't have to force it. It's not something that needs forced, okay? But it's like, it's going to require you to kind of evaluate your priorities and evaluate, what you want in your life and what you want your life to look like, and to be really honest with yourself about that. And if you want connection, if you want company, then, you have to make space for it. I'm getting two storylines here as well. For some of you, this is you. You may have found out that your person was with someone else. You may have also just felt backstabbed, deceived. It may have just been also, for some of you, the last straw in a long string of things. But there was trauma involved, in seeing it, in feeling it, in recognizing it, in possibly even, I'm getting an embarrassed feeling, like, almost like, I was taking this seriously, or I thought this was something more, or I thought this was, XYZ, and like the way you have callously treated it or whatever, it's showing me that like I was a fool, that you didn't feel that way. I feel there's just this level of trauma, of almost like embarrassment or shame, but it's also kind of tied into something that really doesn't belong to you. That isn't your embarrassment or your shame. That should be the other person's. They're the ones that are making the choice that are embarrassing. You're not. When you show up and you're all in and you're ready to give to a situation, and you're ready to show up, and you can stand by your decisions, and you know why you've made them, and you feel they're in your highest and best good, and that you're honoring yourself with your choices, and somebody lets you down, somebody does something deceitful, that's not on you, that's on them. They're the ones being deceitful. That's their embarrassment, that's their shame. Don't take it on for them. When you see that, or when you start to feel that, or when it starts to gnaw at you, I always say return to sender. Because it's not my thing. It's not my burden to carry. I didn't perpetrate. I was perpetrated on. And so it's just really important to remember what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you. And that doesn't belong to you. The way that it's coming through this energy is showing me it's not yours. It's not your burden to carry. It's someone attempting to make you carry their burden. And it's like, make no mistake about it. Like, this doesn't belong to you. That person needs to sort it out and process it for themselves. They're making an attempt to take the easy way out and make you process it for them. Okay. Possibly some of you are dealing with narcissists. Okay. Then I feel that I feel this opening heart, right? And we see it here. You've taken your space, you've grown, and you're more confident. You may not even realize this about yourself until you step into a space that requires this of you. You know how they say you never know how strong you are until you have to be strong. You have no other choice. There's just this energy of you don't know how much you've grown, how much you've evolved, how much you've changed, how much you're capable of. And yeah, is it a strength? It is a strength. But is that all it is? No, that's not all it is. It's a heart chakra awakening. You have overcome this, or you have survived it, or you've been able to kind of move beyond it. And it does feel like you're ready for a relationship where you can be emotionally honest, and where you can open your heart and be vulnerable, and where you can acknowledge that maybe you weren't always like that, or maybe it took getting your heart broken or being mistreated to realize that, like, you had a wound that was preventing you from being able to choose people who were good for you, or allow yourself to be vulnerable, or allow yourself to go all in a relationship. But it feels like there's this huge switch here between these two energies. So for some of you, could this be a past person? Possibly. For some of you, is this just you with you, where, you were really hurt, you took some time and space to heal, to figure things out, and now you're kind of emerging and you're in a different energy with different possibilities and different capabilities that are a result of this period of growth and isolation and space, and just seeking comfort and really prioritizing your own emotional contentment over everything else, even if that means isolating. And then on the bottom you have, I will wait for a sign from you, which for some of you, I actually feel like this is a sign from the universe. Like, you wait for a sign from the universe, or there will be signs from the universe. I am actually getting very strong energy of rainbows here with this, especially like over trees. They're not trees that are like common in Florida. Like the big trees, like big, huge maple trees and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, okay. It doesn't have to be a rainbow, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I'm just really strongly seeing rainbows. Like even double rainbows, and like unusual even rainbows. Okay. And also, guys, like if you want confirmation of this reading, you can ask for a sign. You can say, if this reading is for me, like, please show me a sign. If you're bringing someone into my life, a new soulmate or whatever this is, please show me a sign. Please give me confirmation, so that you're not, kind of feeling like you're in the dark or you're waiting. This isn't a personal reading, it's a general reading, so I do pick up on a lot of different people's energy. If you want to know for yourself specifically, no one can predict the future with certainty, but you can always schedule a private reading on my website. Okay, you are getting the Justice card. Someone may be in law or legal, but this is also giving me karmic justice, as in, sometimes, oh my God, oh wow, okay, sometimes, like with life, we're going down a track that's not meant for us, You know, we have gotten misaligned somehow, or, you know, we think we've fallen in love and we're following someone else, or we're allowing them to take the lead, or we're trying to balance out with someone who is misaligned and that misaligns us. And it's like we start going down a path and it's like the doors seem to be closing, the windows seem to be closing. We start to feel really, you know, like nothing's really working out for us. You can even, that can even make you feel a bit isolated or a bit alone or a bit like, why isn't anything working out for me? And, you know, even getting your hopes up and even establishing like some kind of expectation, like, okay, well, this has to work out because the last 10 things haven't worked out, you know what I mean? And then it doesn't work out, you know. With the Two of Swords here, this is, you know, this is stagnancy, and it is an energy of like, you're not going anywhere. But it is also self-entrapment, and you're not going anywhere kind of for a reason, right? But it's one of your own making. And even though a lot of times when the windows and doors are closing, it doesn't feel like it's us causing that issue, right? But we're the ones that are sticking to that path where nothing is working out 10 times, you know? Oh gosh, you guys, I gotta get my dogs water because they will not stop until they get it. I'll be right back. But, you know, when we try and we try and we try and the universe keeps closing the door. Sorry about that. But, you know, everything really boils down to our free will choice. And when we continue to pursue something that isn't working out and that is really trying to show us, you know, the doors that open and the windows that open and close in our lives, right, are kind of guiding us. They are sort of leading us somewhere. They are like the guardrails that are sort of trying to keep us on the straight and narrow and are trying to tell us and give us clues that like, hey, maybe this thing isn't for you, or, you know, whatever. And it's like sometimes though, our ego gets involved and it's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And all we're doing is keeping ourselves in sort of spinning in circles in this stagnant energy instead of taking the cue of the universe and saying, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to tell me? I am open to whatever this is so that we can quickly sort of move on or course correct. You know, we get insistent and we're like, I refuse to see that this isn't for me. I refuse to, you know, take that on, you know, with the swords crossed across our heart and the blindfold on, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to feel defeated. Like our ego will double down on things all the time. And so that's why meditation is such an important path for us, because it allows us to disconnect a bit from our ego and sort of allow ourselves to kind of look from a higher level perspective, kind of zoom out a bit. That's what it does for me. It gives me a lot of space from the thing. And then I'm like, oh, I can see it. You know, I can even see my own behavior in it. And so with the sun here, there is a lot of clarity around this. There may even be the admission of like, oh, wow, I was over there beating this dead horse and it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. It's not that I wasn't good enough. It's not that, you know, these other people were better than me or this or that or the other. It's that it just wasn't fucking meant for me, you know? Great. Now that I can acknowledge that, now that I can admit that, I can get down to the business of finding what is meant for me. Here's the thing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart or love. Love is never wasted, ever. You know, love is an energy and it doesn't die. So the love we put out into the world comes back to us, and it may not always come back to us from the person that we've invested it in, or from the person that elicited that response from us. And also, make no mistake about it, love doesn't come from the other person. Love comes from you. The love that you feel comes from you. And it's your love for the other person and for yourself and your capacity to love that you feel. Okay? And with the Justice card here, this is that the universe is a very balanced universe. The universe really cares about making things right. This is why we have karma, right? So when we talk about karmic justice, we are talking about how that love is going to come back to us, how we will be rewarded for the beauty that we are contributing into the collective consciousness and into the universe, and the good that we're doing, even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, and even when it feels like it's leading us nowhere. The minute we get right back on our right path, it's like we will be rewarded tenfold. That's what justice says. Justice says, as soon as I can, balance things out for you. As soon as you are on the right path and you heed the warning and you listen to the messages and you get back on the right path for you, then, hey, here comes what you've been waiting for. This is what I'm saying to you. I am saying to you because this is what I believe and this is what my experience has been. But you're welcome to believe whatever you want to believe. And as always, I just encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest from every single tarot card reading. If what I am saying to you, you feel like you already know, or you already feel it, or, it's close, or you know what I'm talking about, but you have your own way of doing it, hey, go with that. I don't know more about life than you do. We are all just spiritual beings having a human experience, walking each other home. And all I'm doing is walking with you. So, yeah. I honestly, for some of you, I am really getting this feeling of the fact that I feel you were in a partnership, or you felt as though you were in a partnership and the rug got ripped out from underneath you. And I feel like you were very honestly and genuinely sharing a vision, sharing a plan, or you thought you were, and you were actually putting effort in and contributing to it. And it didn't, it's like you found out that you were the only one in the collaboration, which doesn't make it a collaboration, right? As long as you were going to put forth all the effort and all the energy and all the resources, it was going to be fine. But the minute you stopped doing that, it was going to be done because there was no one else contributing. You see what I'm saying? And that is a very hurtful, hard place to be. It has happened to me, in my family, in my business, in so many things. And it's hard, and I know it is so hard, and it can be extremely traumatic, especially when you have exhausted yourself and you're at your wit's last end and you need that person who you think is collaborating to actually show up. And they're like, oh, what? No. And then you realize, man, I should have known. And then you get down on yourself because you should have known. But we can't. We have to just accept life as life comes, and accept life on life's terms, and ask ourselves, how is this serving me? What can I learn from it? What can I take from it? Where is the gift in it? And we never walk away empty-handed when we do that, because there is always something. With the Two of Swords being clarified by the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles is that card where there's a pretty strong spiritual message here. Well, multiple strong spiritual messages here, but it is about, when you plant a garden, right? Like I live in zone 10, okay? So when I plant something, I need it to be hardy in zone 10, which is a lot of tropical stuff. And I mean, I can grow orchids like nobody's business. I have so many orchids and I love orchids. But I would like a daffodil or a tulip or a lily of the valley or a hellebore. I would like to grow those things that tell me the change of season is here. But I cannot, because they're pretty much hardy to zone 8, okay? So if I plant them in zone 10, which, okay, I'm not even gonna lie, I have tried it. I was like, well, why can't it work? and like I can get one season. It'll bloom for one season if I put the bulb in the freezer. But it's not gonna bloom year after year after year after year like it would in, you know, Ohio or wherever, you know, in a zone where it's meant to be. And that's kind of what we see here with the 7 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. It's like, even if I were to water that bulb every day, even if I were to pray over that bulb every day, even if I were like, whatever care and nurturing I gave to that bulb, if it is not meant to grow in my garden, it is not growing in my garden. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it except move to a zone where it's going to grow, or plant a garden in a zone where it will grow. I can't change the nature of the thing, and I can't change the nature of my thing, you know, what I'm contributing, what I'm offering, where I'm planting it, right? It's not meant for me. It is meant for so many people, and I will appreciate theirs, right? But it isn't meant for me. And that is just a fact of life. And sometimes it takes a while for us to arrive here. Sometimes it takes a while for us to get to the place where we can acknowledge and admit it, right? But we have the 10 of Swords here with the Sun card. And this is actually, you know, it is a very painful ending, right? With the 10 of Swords. This isn't just what happened, that all these doors shut, right? It's also what I told myself, and how I invested, and how I kept trying to make it work, and how I kept showing up for it, and the shame and the embarrassment I feel that like I didn't just figure it out and move on right away. I kept going, I kept trying, or the fact that it took me so long to recognize that it wasn't just for me, that it wasn't me, that I beat myself up and I thought maybe I wasn't good enough, maybe I wasn't sophisticated enough, attractive enough, smart enough, whatever the thing is. I thought I wasn't enough for it. But no, you're always enough for what is meant for you. And so it's like, this is a very horrifically difficult ending. Like, we skate over the 10 of Swords a lot, but the 10 of Swords is painful. It brings you to your fucking knees. I am cussing a lot today. I don't know what's up, and it's even Sunday. But you know, this is an extremely difficult energy. It's very weighty, and it brings us to our knees. It reminds us how freaking human we are, right? And a lot of it is us with us beating ourselves up over it, tossing and turning over it, moving it around in our brain over and over and over again, thinking thoughts about it, telling ourselves stories about it. You know, and with the Sun, it's like, the Sun is clarity. And with clarity and seeing it, going, oh, damn, that was a bulb that was only hardy to zone 8, and I tried to plant it in zone 10. It wasn't that I was a crappy gardener. It's that bulb didn't grow in my garden. It never was going to. It wasn't for me. And then you have the clarity. And once you have the clarity, you start to heal. And then you heal, and then you know what else the Sun means? It's a reconciliation of soulmates. Then it means you're ready. You're ready. You're not doing this to yourself again. You're not going to go on a fool's errand chasing something not meant for you and beating yourself up, continuously trying over and over and over again to make something work that just isn't for you. Okay. We're human. We're all human. We can't forget that part. And, you know, that's the part that we learn from the most. Wow, damn. With the Star and the 6 of Swords. Holy mackerel. So with this relief in the mental body, man, with the Death card, with the relief that comes in the mental body, you guys have been getting the 3 of Cups a lot. I highly recommend for you guys to Google the 3 of Cups in Tarot and just see what definition it gives you. There's many definitions of the 3 of Cups, and they're going to be different, and you know, for all of you, because your Google algorithm is going to be different, right? But just see what it says for you, and see if that doesn't tell you something, like a personal message for you, because you've been getting the 3 of Cups a lot on the bottom of the deck and in weird places. Like, it's kind of weird to get it here with this particular energy. It is kind of a reconfirmation in a way how I just said, and then there's a reconciliation of soulmates. And the Three of Cups can be a reconciliation, but it's usually accompanied by other cards that are talking about that, like Judgment. So sometimes I just get this funny feeling about cards where there's just a specific message for each of you in it that I can't, like, as a general tarot card reader, possibly, you know, tell you. You know what I mean? Like, it's too personal. It's for you. So if you are interested, you Google it and you look and see what comes up specifically for you on your device, okay? I'll do it on mine for you, and I'll tell you what comes up for me. And we'll roll with that. Well, I'm not going to use the AI overview, okay? It says, the Three of Cups tarot card is the minor arcana card of reunion or celebration. It can signify someone from your past is coming back into your life. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. That is the energy that I got, because we just had the Sun card on the bottom of this deck. And a reconciliation of soulmates, it can be someone that you already have met in this life, but it can also be someone you haven't met in this life. With the Star and the Death card here, this is a major time of change and renewal for you. With the Six of Swords, this comes as you come to a place of mental peace about whatever this ending is. As you start to, you know, not experience turbulence when it comes to this, like, even if you think about this, or even if you are triggered by something or reminded of this, you are able to sort of still maintain your peace, or it doesn't rile you up, or it doesn't make you feel all kinds of, you know, hard or heavy feelings. That's an indication that it's time, that this is coming, that this is happening, okay? With the Star card, this is divine timing, and it is at your discretion, or it's like it's at you're the one guiding that ship. You are the one getting yourself there. When we are truly at a place of peace with what has happened in the past, it doesn't affect us the same way. I'm not going to say it doesn't affect us at all, but it doesn't affect us the same way. And that's what it's feeling like to me, is that it's like I make this observation of, wow, this isn't affecting me as much as it once did. And then, wow, things start to open up and change. And the Star card is representative of our wish fulfillment and of what is meant for us. And so it could be that we had unhealed wounds that in this period of taking space and comforting ourselves and prioritizing our own contentment and emotional stability and safety, we have healed that to the degree that we are now at a greater place of peace with our past, and we are ready for this new experience to come into our lives, or this soul connection to really come together, to really gel. If it does happen to be a past person, I'm not seeing a ton of past energy here, to be honest with you. It does feel a bit more like a new person, but for some of you it is a past person, I'm just gonna say. With the Death card here, you're going through a major transformation, and as you transform inside, your outside changes too. So as you really integrate all these lessons and all this healing and all of this energy, then what you start to see and what starts happening in your life and the opportunities that open up and the response that you get from the universe, instead of a closed door, it's a maybe or a yes, you know, because you are going through this rebirthing period, or you're going through this period where things start to open up. That's the gist of it, because you're ready for it. because the transformation has taken place inside. Wow. Wow. Holy mackerel. You do have the Eight of Wands clarifying the Six of Swords and the Star card. So like I said, you know, this could be your person's energy as well. And if it is, then I feel like this person is, you know, going through a transformation or going through this space of coming to a place of peace with their past and healing. If this is the case, then I do think that this person is going to reach out. If this is you, then I feel like, yes, this is just saying, the Eight of Wands is saying you're going to be able to move forward obstacle free. You're not going to experience the doors closing, the windows closing. You're going to experience things opening up and you being able to like move much more freely through spaces. And you're going to be the one that everything good is happening for, while other people watch you instead of vice versa. Like, this is where you switch and become the main character kind of energy. The Death card is being clarified by the Nine of Cups in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse with the Two of Pentacles. And this is telling me, whomever we're talking about, whether this is you or this is your person, there was a lack of emotional contentment on their own. You know, this can be an energy that requires things working out outside ourselves for us to feel happy inside, which isn't true lasting happiness. And true lasting happiness is contentment. You know, we can feel contentment for a moment, right? We can feel happiness for a moment when it's like, you know, something good happens or whatever. But unless we are really deriving our true happiness and our sense of contentment from within, you know, focusing on our abundance, focusing on our gratitude, living present in the moment, being grateful for that moment, being grateful for what we're touching, what we're smelling, what we're feeling, what we're seeing in that moment, regardless of whatever it is. If it's our dream come true, or if it's our teapot, like I talk about, or, you know, our dog, you know, snuggled in our lap, or, you know, whatever it is, that we mindfully acknowledge the sense of peace that we have, the sense of joy that we have, the sense of all is right with the world that we have in those moments. That is when we are truly fortified, like the Nine of Cups, in emotional contentment on our own. And it's not like I'm happy because of this dog. No. It's this contentment exists within me, and I am aware of it right now, regardless of the stimuli, you know, regardless of what is causing it. It's just the acknowledgement of, wow, I am feeling really whole. I'm feeling really content. I am feeling really joyous. I am feeling like happy, you know, and I have managed to get there on my own and bring my mindful awareness to it on my own. And, you know, the more we focus on gratitude and the more we focus on the abundance that exists in our lives, the more we're going to experience emotional contentment. I mean, those things all go hand in hand. Gratitude is the fastest way to raise your vibration. With the High Priestess, this is somebody that wasn't really listening to their intuition all the time. Your intuition's always talking to you, but whether you listen to it or not is up to you. And, you know, when I see the High Priestess in reverse, it does feel like I'm just ignoring it. You know, my mind is telling me that it knows better than my intuition, and so I'm not listening to it. When you make choices from this place where you're not feeling emotionally content and you're also not listening to your intuition, you basically usually make fear-based choices. And, you know, I am getting from the Six of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, it's like I'm not giving as much as I could to a situation. I am holding back, or I am, you know, I'm giving something, but it is not as much as what I actually really have to give. And so maybe I'm even allowing other people to undergive to me. Like breadcrumb me. So this is what's dying. So this is what we had to let go of. We had to give up, you know. This can also be symbolic of overgiving. You know, it can be whatever. You know, you're dealing with people who are taking but not giving back in return. Wow. You have this energy here of the Fool card with the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. And you have the Knight of Cups on the bottom of the deck. You know, this energy with the Fool card, you know, we really have to come to a place of peace with our past. If we try to move into the Fool energy, or let's just say, you know, the Fool energy is basically like, my gut is just telling me I have to do this. And so because my gut is telling me this and I believe my gut, I just go all in. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I just take the leap of faith and I just give myself wholeheartedly to it. Because I just feel compelled to. I just feel like I have to. But in order to be able to be free to make that choice or to take that leap, we have to be at a place of peace with our past. We have to be at a place of peace with all those burdens. We have to have been able to kind of let them go. There's a freeness about the Fool that he's not carrying all the burdens of his past. He's not carrying the weight of expectations and, you know, heartbreak and the 10 swords and the 10 wands. And, you know, he's just free to do as he wishes with no responsibility, with no obligation, with nothing waiting or holding him down. And so in order for us to get in that energy or align with that space where we can be free to do that, we have to do the work to get ourselves to that zero energy where we are neutral, where we aren't, you know, identifying so harshly with our past that that's our story and that's who we are and that's all we can ever be. You know, our past is our past. Like, we need to release it. We need to let it go. And, you know, I know sometimes I bring up my past on the channel in an effort to, you know, relay a message or whatever, but and I'm not actually even saying but like, I'm just saying it is really hard. I get it, to completely separate ourselves from our story, but our story is not us. You know, this one life iteration isn't even us. You know, this is like an opportunity for us to experience life through this perspective, you know, through the perspective of Christy, the tarot card reader on YouTube. You know, this is my opportunity to just observe life through this lens right here. It's not more than that, you know. And so if I can just bring myself to this present moment where that is who I am, that is what I'm doing here, you know, and I'm not somebody's daughter and somebody's sister and somebody and all the complicated things of my past, then you know what, I can fully embrace the Fool energy and take that leap of faith. But I have to be willing to let that whole story go. Otherwise, I'm just taking it with me. And it's going to be the same. You know what I mean? Or it's always going to taint everything. And I don't want my past that I didn't really make a lot of choices about. I couldn't choose what family I was born into. I couldn't choose all these things. I don't want my past dictating my present or my future. So I have to make the brave choice to say, that's not who I am. And I don't need that in order to know who I am or to identify with myself. I need to know, like, where I'm going, and I need to be able to be quiet and listen to my intuition and see where it's guiding me and allow it to take me in the direction that I am meant to go in. You know, the more I hold on to past stories and past feelings and past identities and past, you know, all of it, the harder it is for me to be able to pursue my soul purpose. You know, and that's just all there is to it. So you have to make the choice that you don't want to do that, you know, that you You want to live your full life, and you don't want anybody or anything that's already happened to stop you from that. And that is your prerogative. That is your free will choice. You have the Knight of Pentacles with the Six of Cups, and this is telling us that. You know, sometimes it is hard to leave the stories of the past behind, especially, you know, sometimes we do even feel nostalgic about it. Sometimes we're like, man, you know, that was pretty good. Or, you know, maybe we didn't want to break up with that person, or maybe we weren't ready to say goodbye to that person, or, you know, whatever. But, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is an energy for me where it's kind of like, I know it's hard, but sometimes you just have to put one foot in front of the other. Sometimes you just have to be determined, you know, and you just have to say, this is where I'm going. I'm not going to let anything stop me. You know, I may not know exactly what it looks like. I may not know this or that, but I am leaving the past behind me, and I'm putting one foot in front of the other, no matter what, and I'm going. And you know what? Anything from your past that is meant to be moving on with you, it will catch up to you. It will find you on your path. It'll show up again. But the things that aren't, you don't need to carry them anymore. You know, you just need to focus on putting one foot in front of the other and to keep moving forward. Damn, there's that Three of Cups again. You have the Fool card with the Eight of Cups. And, I mean, this is what we're sitting here talking about. You know, sometimes it is really, truly difficult to walk away from things we've invested a lot in. You know, the Eight of Cups is an extremely difficult, heavy energy. It really is. It's a very, very, very difficult decision. We've talked about this on this channel many, many times. But, you know, you can see there's 8 cups and they're upright. You know, they're 8 perfectly good cups there. And 8 is awfully close to 9 and 10. And 9 is wish fulfillment. And 10 is, man, it is complete emotional contentment with another person, you know, shared. You know, that's what we're here for. That's what we're looking for. And to get that close and then to kind of just say, man, I don't think I'm ever going to get any closer here. I don't think this is actually going to make it to 9 or 10. That's devastating. And it takes us a lot of times, it takes a long time to walk away from the Eight of Cups. You know, I know people who have been in a relationship they knew wasn't going to work, but they kept trying to make it work for a decade. Sometimes longer. Because they got so close. It was so close. It was just driving them nuts. Well, maybe if I change this, maybe if I become like this, maybe if this, maybe if that, then maybe. And it's like, with that Eight of Cups and the Fool card, there's just an acknowledgement of like, okay, I admit this isn't going to work. We're not going to get past the Eight of Cups. I'm ready for something new. I'm ready to take a different leap of faith. I'm ready to start over. I'm ready to walk away from this, as hard as it is, to have a new beginning, to start all over again. You have the Knight of Pentacles, right, with the Six of Cups being clarified by the Five of Swords and the Three of Cups again, with the Five of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I just keep getting this energy of there are paths that are blocked and that have possibly put us in a negative mindset where we feel very defeated, and even where our self-talk may lean toward, you know, a defeatist standpoint of like, well, that's it for me. I'm never going to try love again. You know, I got cheated on, or this happened or that happened. That was too much. I'm not doing it. You know, where we're creating our own blockage, where we're cutting ourselves off from the very thing that we want based on a past experience. So we're letting the past dictate our present and our future. And this is saying, you know, with the Three of Cups, the best is still in front of you, you know, and to trust the things that didn't work out, and the things that, if they put you in a negative mindset, if they start making you have a negative dialogue in your head, or even questioning yourself, or if you are too much, or if you are not enough, It wasn't meant for you. It doesn't deserve you. What deserves you is going to worship you and appreciate you and rejoice in every little thing about you. This is all about freeing ourselves so that we can follow our heart, so that we can get our heart's content. For some of you, this could be the energy of a past person who, you know, is really working through some of these energies. Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Heavy Virgo energy. Wow. With the Empress. So, man, oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, this is a transformational, right? The Nine of Pentacles we commonly refer to as the pre-Empress energy. This is the energy you're in before you get to the Empress energy. And the Queen of Pentacles is, this is really knowing your worth and your value and nurturing it and standing by it, and which is, it truly is one of the most difficult freaking things to do as a human being. You know, especially because we do have these voices in our head, all of us do, that are like, oh, you're not worthy of this, you're not good enough for this, you're an imposter, you're, you know what I mean? We all have those voices. That's why we can all relate to each other when we're talking about those things. Or like, if you read a book and you're reading it from someone's perspective and you're hearing their mental chatter, you can relate to it. You know, it's part of being human. We all have that. And so for us to sit there and for us to say, I trust my worth and my value. I know my worth and my value, and I am holding this standard, and I'm trusting the universe that if I toe this line for myself, and if I hold these standards for myself, and if I nurture myself like the queen that I am, or, you know, the deserving miracle person that I am, and I focus on my abundance and I focus on the gratitude for what I already have, that it is going to turn into more, and that I will be rewarded, okay? And so there's this energy of really transforming the self. And as we do that, especially through this sequence right here of the Nine of Pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles to the Empress, this takes us from being single to being in the right energy for a partnership. You know, the Nine of Pentacles is the energy of like day in and day out, I treat myself with kindness. I treat myself with respect. I treat myself with honor. I do not dilly-dally or dabble around in places that are not meant for me, in sandboxes with lower vibrational energies in them. I don't even mess with it. I don't even entertain it. I don't respond to it because I don't expose myself to it. And this is a day after day kind of energy. It adds up. And when we commit to ourselves and to that energy day after day after day, we put ourselves in an energy where we are really attracting what aligns with that, right? We become that vibration, we become that frequency. And that makes us the person that people want to commit to. It makes us strong. It makes us reliable. It's not that we have never been hurt before. It's not that we have never experienced pain before. It's that we have resilience and we have strength and we have found our way through it with still knowing our worth and our value. All of that still intact. And that's incredibly attractive to the universe, to other people. It comes through in our aura. It comes through in our energy. It comes through in the way we talk about ourselves and to ourselves. When the Empress here, this, you know, this is just, it's giving me, especially the Empress here is dressed in a white dress. This is giving me solidly on your own, getting yourself to the energy that attracts what you are wishing for, what you are hoping for to you, what is an actual vibrational match to you. And then through being seen and having it mirrored back to you, this experience of rounding it out and taking it as high as it can go with another person. Because the Queen of Pentacles is the wife of the tarot and the Empress is the mother. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, like if you're a man or a woman, right? It is expressing itself in feminine energy, right? But that doesn't mean you have to be a girl for this to be your story, okay? Wow, damn. See, okay. And this is, I mean, just look at how this is being clarified by men. Now, it's like the universe is like, yes, if you are a man or if you are a woman, this is what it is, okay? So this is, it also takes a lot of courage. And especially like if you've been traumatized or if you have been the victim of narcissistic abuse, it becomes extremely difficult for you to say out loud, I want this. Okay, like I want 100,000 followers on YouTube. I want, you know, this person. I want this relationship. I want, it makes it, when you have been constantly told, oh, you're not enough. Oh, that world would never accept you anyway. Oh, you're too much. You're too emotional for that. You're too clingy for that. You're too this for that. You're too that for that. You're not enough of this. You're not enough of that. You really need to work on yourself. That would never accept you. You would never make it in that place. Then it makes it really hard to say, I want and I feel I deserve and I know I'm worth what I want and what I deserve. It makes it really hard to stake that claim, to own it and to claim it and to admit it and to acknowledge it out loud, because it's almost been sort of beaten out of you. You know, it's almost sort of the belief that you can have it or that you deserve it or whatever gets washed away through these experiences. And especially if you were then also having the door closing and the window closing on the opportunities that you were seeking in life. It's like, well, that just feels like the universe is confirming the narcissist, right? That like, you're not good enough. Well, that's not at all what it is telling you. Oftentimes also, the narcissists and, you know, people like that will kind of get us off track. They'll, you know, especially if they're a close confidant or an intimate partner or relationship, you know, they will convince us that, you know, what we want isn't possible or what we want is stupid. And they will tell us what is better for us or what is smarter for us, or that, you know, maybe we should manage our expectations and want something less than that. But that wand that king is holding right there is your soul purpose. And so when you listen to other people about what your purpose is or about what you're capable of or what you deserve or what your worth is or what your value is or any of those things, that they are, you know, you're learning their kind of karmic lesson of playing small, of, you know, not really owning your true potential and your true limitlessness and your true ability to manifest and create and align with the energy that is meant for you. And wow, we're talking about this as we're heading into Lionsgate, and this is like all over this energy. You have the Empress here being clarified by the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. This is fighting for myself, knowing that I deserve it, knowing that I'm worth it, and not allowing other people to interfere or to block my path or my way. And with the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress, there is absolute abundance available for you, Pisces. Like stepping into this energy, aligning with this energy, acknowledging this energy, staking your claim, saying, this is what I want. This is what I deserve. That is, you know, and knowing that it is yours, you know, taking your power back here. This can be you, this can be your person who may be getting prepared to like come forward and really show up to be able to be part of a legacy. But it is also your energy, I do believe, Pisces. That Nine of Pentacles is the pre-Empress energy, and here you have the Empress being clarified by the freaking Ten of Pentacles. And you know, I just said to you, this feels like the journey into being in a partnership through, you know, really owning your worth and your value. you know, really truly healing and stepping into that space where it's like, you know what, you can't fuck with me, and my past can't fuck with me, and nothing is fucking with this. You know, I know who I am. I know what I deserve. You know, I am able to, I'm not going to let anybody make me doubt myself again, including the universe. I'm not going to take it personally when a door closes. I'm going to understand, hey, that just isn't meant for me. I need to redirect. I need to go somewhere else. I need to listen to the universe, not fight the universe, not resist the universe. I need to listen to the universe. I need to go with the flow. And it's like a whole world is opening up. You guys keep getting this energy of abundance and prosperity. For some of you, there are some things I think happening with money or with your work or your career. But with a lot of you, I honestly feel like you are aligning truly with your higher power. Oh my gosh. Okay, one of you, Melody, was talking about having a dream where I was reading her cards for her, but there was no volume, and she'd like gone to sleep listening to a reading and then woken up with a reading. When I read the comment, Melody, I hope you're listening to this, because it was too much for me to like comment. I tried, and then it was like too confusing. So I'm going to tell you here. I hope you're listening, and I hope you're feeling better, sweetie. The thing is, what came to my mind when I read that was how I went to Hawaii and I went to a Buddhist temple. It was a really incredible experience on the Big Island, and I met this Buddhist monk. And it was lovely. I got to see the temple. It was really just a really beautiful experience. Anyway, I was talking to the monk, and I said to him, you know, I'm relatively new on my journey. This is like many, many years ago. I said, I'm really new on this journey of yoga and meditation, but I just feel like there's not enough time in my life to learn everything I want to learn and to experience everything I want to experience. Is there like any guidance, any wisdom, anything that you can tell me? And he looked me dead in the eye. He got this huge smile on his face, and he said, no. However the river gets to the ocean, guys, it gets to the ocean, and it goes the way that it's meant to go. It goes your way. Your journey is the way. Okay. That's what I was reminded of, Melody. So take it as it resonates. Take whatever you get from it, if you get anything from it. But I love when you guys tell me, like, apparently a lot of people dream about me. I do think I astral travel a lot, because I do have a lot of dreams of being in airports and train stations and stuff. But I love it when you tell me about your dreams. Okay, here we go. You are getting, if you're dealing with a water sign, distant. I am still moved by you. I am working on myself. I can't stop thinking of you, and wishy-washy. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you are getting hopeful. I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. I am overcoming my fears, fantasizing. If I had only known then what I know now. If you are dealing with an earth sign, I am sorry I triggered you. I want your attention. You hit me out of nowhere. Our eye contact is insane, and my karmic story is ending. If you are dealing with an air sign, you are getting triggered, controlling. I am trying to figure things out. Your words speak to me like no others can. You give me so much to look forward to. All right, guys, this is what I have for you today on this gorgeous Sunday. It is really, 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 truly beautiful here. It is pretty hot, but it is beautiful. All right, this is what I have for you from Zone 10. Definitely not planning Zone 8 anything here. It does not grow. I have tried it. Stubborn as I am, Well, it's really curious as I am. I need to know for myself, you know? I don't want other people to tell me everything all the time. I want to figure it out. All right, this is what I have. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you guys a lot of peace and comfort and clarity. And until next time, I send you off with all my best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye, guys.